Hey guys, welcome to CSFC The Lounge. Welcome to 2025, guys. It is here. Welcome to CSFC The Lounge. I am Leonardo, your host, and this is Danny,
How's
our
it going, guys?
personal training manager here at CSFC. How did you get into personal training? As you guys saw, 335 you were lifting?
Yeah.
You were just
A couple
benching
pauses
casually, a couple
on
of
it.
rows, and they were perfect. You know, and I'm an enthusiast, I'm an aficionado now of lifting and all this and that now. I really am. So when I went down there and saw you, I was like, I had to record it, and I did post it. It's on there. It was beautiful. So how did you get started with all this?
So I started off at personal training about 8 years ago.
Holy cow.
So prior to that, I did construction, demolition and stuff like that. I kind of got tired of the scene, started doing a lot of wear and tear on my body. Just
Yes.
started getting into working out, just trying to be a little bit healthier, more fit. And then I just kind of fell into it. A couple friends asked for advice. I helped them out. Saw the results, they liked it. So then that's when I went and got my NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. And I just went to, my first job was at Charter Fitness at the time, right down the road.
Yeah.
And I stayed there for about 7 years, built up a great clientele base. And then after that, came over here, met you guys, and now I'm just gonna keep on continuing my story.
So here's one thing with Danny that I've noticed. It's not just let's lift 100 and a million pounds, let's squat 3 or deadlift this. No, he's also teaching our older population, okay? Just get them mobile. I've seen you with at least 2 or 3 people, the time that I see you here. How's that been going?
Oh,
Because these guys, how old are they? Like,
I believe Karen, don't quote me on it, I believe one of my clients is 76 and then the other one is 78.
yeah. So it's very important for them to be mobile. He can do it. So how's that?
So, I kind of just jumped into it. Beforehand, my oldest client was actually 92 with Parkinson's.
Get out of
So that
here.
was my first senior client. And then it was rough, it was very rough trying to get the motion down and just trying to see what was comfortable for them and what wasn't. But with years of research, knowledge, training, and just keep on doing fire and misses, finally got it down.
Okay.
So when it comes to my training, I usually try to be well-balanced, well-based. I will take on anybody with any problems. If it's age, diabetes, I also had a couple that were amputees before.
Really?
Had
How
missing-
was that? Talk to us about a little bit about that, because we don't hear
Yeah.
that a lot.
So I had a client, this is about 4 years ago, he was an amputee, he got into a car accident.
Okay.
He lost his arm to his elbow and then he was missing his ring finger. And that was a really challenge in the beginning. He wanted to learn how to deadlift.
Okay.
So what we did is that obviously his prosthetic arm couldn't hold on to the weight.
Right.
So then what we did is that we had a, I guess you could say, like what you do dips with that
Yes.
chain? It was something like that. And then we had it the same length of his arm. So then after that, his shoulder did an anterior tilt. And we started off at, I think he had like a 185, close to 200 starting off, because he already had this already pre-made. And then before he left for Minnesota, we got up to 330 together.
Holy cow.
Yep.
That is so cool. Have you touched bases with them lately, or just followed up, see how he's
Yeah,
doing?
I followed up on him. I actually found him on TikTok
Get
about
outta
last
here.
year. Yeah, he's still working out, still
Good.
doing good, still deadlifting 300 plus. So I'm happy
Wow.
that my knowledge and just us getting together and just having that time to
So
train really helped him.
Dang,
Yep.
that is so cool. Because a lot of those people who have those types of challenges, they don't know what to do.
No.
They get stuck. So they get that mindset like, what do I do? So you help them a lot.
Oh,
you
yeah.
help a lot with that stuff.
Yep, and then that's one of the biggest things that really got me into personal training is
Mm-hmm.
just seeing the growth and then seeing people progress through and
Yeah.
actually helping them on the way for their fitness journey.
Yeah. And that's part of what we're doing all this, because a lot of people think that it's just come in, get swole, get the protein, get this, get that. And I'm like, yeah, that's part of it, but that's like the fun part.
Yeah, that's all the fun part to it.
Yeah, it's the stretch and the mechanics. And like personally, I lost a lot of time trying to figure out a lot of this stuff out. Properly bench, properly do
Oh,
this,
yeah.
properly
Yeah, time
warm
and
up.
error.
So, and then when I mean time, I mean like a good decade or half a decade trying to figure it out, or just listening to the wrong people.
Oh yeah, and especially with social media. Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to the internet, it's a great, useful tool to gather information, but at the same time, you have to be weary of it because there's so much disinformation at the same
Yeah.
time. You got a lot of influencers out now trying to make a name for themselves, trying to have the craziest programs and craziest tactics to get a lift in, instead of actually showing people the real fundamentals of lifting from start to finish.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that, like from start to finish. New person comes in, what do we do first?
So it kind of all depends on the person. So let's say if we had somebody coming in fresh off, hasn't worked out in about 2 years plus,
Okay.
they need to get back in shape. So first thing that we want to do is not just put them through the ringer.
Right.
Because when they start feeling that lactic acid buildup, it's going to get a little too high. This is going to take them 3 to 4 days to recover.
Okay.
So then what you want to do is start off with fundamental training or foundation training.
Okay.
So you want to take it slow, work on your balance, work on your core, light exercise, little bit of cardio. Do that for about anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. Then now that you actually built yourself somewhat of a foundation, you can go up to conditioning.
Okay.
So then conditioning can be multiple things. It could be circuit training, but if you're still talking about a new person coming in, starting off, it would be supersets.
Oh,
Try to mix balance with weightlifting and higher repetitions. Month 2 comes in, we cleared that. Okay, now we got a foundation and we got conditioning in us now. Now it's time to go to hypertrophy, or what everybody loves to call muscle building.
Yes.
So then that's your 8 to 12 reps, 30 seconds to a minute break in between. Do
Okay.
that for a good 4 weeks, the 5-week split, and then that's when you can kind of take the curve on where do you want to go. You can go back down to foundation training and work it back up to hypertrophy, or you can take that next step up and go to strength and strength conditioning.
Noise. Okay. Now that's really cool because it's not just dive in. And I used to think it was like just do it, you learn, you keep going. But I never learned under the foundations. It took me forever to just
Yep.
figure it out or just got around people that knew what they were doing. Okay, now what about our older population? How do they start? Same way?
Same way, but just it all depends on what you're looking for, and it depends on, do you have any type of previous injuries? Do you have any type of illnesses? Did you just recover from something? So good instances is that I had a client that actually just had a hernia surgery. This was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And then, cut right down the middle. Didn't have no core strength whatsoever. So then we had to start off from that foundation level. He was a previous athlete. He already knew what to do,
Yeah.
but since his body was in that condition, if I put him right into hypertrophy work, he's just going to crumble. That's why you always want to take those immediate steps of foundation, conditioning, hypertrophy, strength conditioning, and then of course the last one is power. So then power is just usually a good way for athletes, ballistics training,
Yeah.
like volleyball training, football training, stuff of that nature,
Yeah.
to get you to that next level of sport.
And you train pretty much everyone, women, men.
Oh, all around
Young,
the board.
old.
Young, old, 13 up to 92. I've trained basketball teams. I've trained volleyball teams.
Really? When
Yep.
was this?
This was about 3 years ago. Well, actually, my last one was last year before I came to you guys.
Get out of
Yep.
here. How did that go?
Oh, I loved it. Loved it.
No way.
Yep.
Where-
It was a
so-
big team class. It was around 16. Well, it was a female volleyball team, so it was 16 girls each class, 3 classes
Okay.
at a time.
So you taught them all strength training, or what did you teach them?
Oh, we taught strength training, balance work, ballistics training, working on their verticals, working on their speed, their reactive movement, the whole 9 on it.
So you've been having a bunch of athletes too then.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow, that's cool. I didn't know
Yep,
that
that's the
part,
one thing
guys.
that I always wanted to be. I wanted to be a jack of all trades.
That is so cool. All right, what about the food?
Oh, okay.
Do you
Food.
guys do a meal plan for them, or just something around there, or no?
So since I don't have my certification in nutrition yet,
Yeah.
there's a fine line within personal training and nutrition. So then within the scope of practice, I can give people nutritional advice.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
I can tell you what to eat and what not to eat, but I can't give you a full meal plan just yet. Not until
Okay.
I get that certification.
Okay.
So then let's say if you're looking for muscle growth, for instance. Muscle growth usually can revolve around a lot of different diets, but the one thing that you always want to do is make sure that you hit your protein correctly. Protein's number one. You can either go with a high carb, low fat diet or low carb, high fat diet.
Okay.
And of course those aren't the only two. There's multiple different ones, but the ones that I found that were most productive in my training, my own training and in my clients, is high protein, high carb, low fat.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Holy cow.
Yep, and the reason for that is that carbohydrates gets broken down to, I believe, don't quote me on it, glutamine, And then glutamin's used for energy and just reconstruction of the cells. And then with lower fat, what happens is that your body actually runs off the carbs if you're working out properly. You know, of course, if you're just eating high carbs, sitting on the couch,
Yeah,
watching
not doing
TV,
nothing, and
no,
you
it's just
like
going to
here.
accumulate. If you're actually coming in 3 to 5 days a week, really hitting it hard, really working out, pushing it, really trying to get towards your goals, that's where you're going to see that muscle growth the best.
Holy cow. Okay. 2025, we have a whole lot more coming out. This is just a small preview of what's to come, because there's also a lot more coming, more podcasts like this, and this is just a small one for you guys, okay? Thank you, Danny.
Hey, thank you, sir.